by doing that, you're not actually paying attention to 100 stocks. You can't pay attention to 100 stocks, but you can pay a lot of attention to 4 to 12, something like that. And personally, on my spreadsheet that I use, it actually limits out at 12, specifically because this guy says the most you need is between 4 and 12. I know it sounds crazy, but imagine if you concentrated your capital in between 4 and 12 names, and these are the best performing names in the market, you're going to do really well. This is the How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast, brought to you by 10MinuteStockTrader.com, where we cover finance, stocks, options, entrepreneurship, education, and money. And here's your host, voted one of the top 100 people in finance, Christopher Ewell. Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. Today, we have a special lesson for you. I'm putting it here on the podcast because I really believe that this is going to provide you massive, massive value. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And hey, listen, if this podcast was useful to you at all, I really highly suggest that you go check out the full trading course at AIStockTradingSystem.com. That's AIStockTradingSystem.com. Markets are people. People are predictable. Outlier can show you how to track market fear and greed with artificial intelligence on over 1,300 of the largest market cap names. Visit outlier.com to learn more. That's OVTLYR.com. They have a free pilot program for the rest of 2021 so you can get access to right now at OVTLYR.com. That's OVTLYR.com. Hey, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we give you more tools, tips, and tricks to help you trade faster and trade smarter every single week. Hey there, traders. Welcome back to today's How to Trade Stocks Options podcast. Today, we're going to be covering the second key to achieve super performance, and that is don't diversify. Whoa, Chris, you can't be saying that. I know, right? I didn't say it. Mr. Mark Minervini from Think and Trade Like a Champion did on page 205. But I think he has a huge, very, very important point, and we're going to cover that today. So, of the 8 keys to unlocking super performance, the second key is don't diversify. Now, he starts by saying, if you have a significant edge, diversification does not help you. It dilutes you. Now, think about that for a minute, right? Let's say that you've got a system that really, really works. Why would you want to trade that system among 100 names, and some of them work and some of them don't, when you could focus your attention on 5 or 10 and give all of your capital to those? And that's Mark's point here, right? Is that diversification works for like a mutual fund because they buy and they hold and they're going to keep these things for a long time. So those small fluctuations, we want to balance those out. Whereas the opposite is true. We want to find high velocity, high volatility, but moving in the direction that we are going with, right? Typically, people think of high volatility when a price is going down. But imagine if you had set up your portfolio and if you had a trading strategy that worked and you had the high velocity and high volatility and it went up, right? The huge moves up, that's exactly what you want to catch. And that's kind of Mark's point here. Mark goes on to say, bottom line, you are not going to achieve big returns consistently if you are widely diversified. I mean, he's basically throwing this in the face of anybody who's ever had a financial advisor or taken any sort of finance class or anything like that. Says you've got to be diversified. You need, what is it, like your age minus 100 in bonds and the rest of it in stocks, or vice versa. The age, yeah, something like that. It's not what I prescribe to, obviously. But to generate big returns consistently, you need to be concentrated among the very best names. He's got a point here. You don't need to be in all these 100 stocks because not all 100 stocks are the best names. Not all 100 stocks are going to be the ones that are moving. Right? Makes total sense. He says somewhere between 4 and 12, depending on your account size and tolerance. This is a dude who manages a multi-tens of $million account, and he says you need between 4 and 12. Let me repeat that again. He manages multi-tens of millions of dollars, and he says you need between 4 and 12. I recently was talking to a client of mine, and he had literally 100 stocks that he trades. And I was like, by doing that, you're not actually paying attention to 100 stocks. You can't pay attention to 100 stocks, but you can pay a lot of attention to 4 to 12, something like that. And personally, on my spreadsheet that I use, it actually limits out at 12, specifically because this guy says the most you need is between 4 and 12. I know it sounds crazy, but imagine if you concentrated your capital in between 4 and 12 names, and these are the best performing names in the market, you're going to do really well. Mark goes on to say he likes to have most of his money in the top 4 or 5 names that he's already following closely. So diversifying, yeah, it's great for a long-term portfolio. Diversifying for ultra super performance stocks is not the way to go, because you just won't have enough capital to take advantage of the super performance if you manage to find those stocks that actually produce the super performance. So diversification can work well in your 401k or in an account that you don't want to touch for the next 20 years. But if you're looking for those outsized gains and trading the way that Mark does, there's no possible way you can diversify and still get the same amount of gains that he does. So listen, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, be sure to click up here to watch another one of the videos in this series where we're covering the 8 keys to super performance. It's kind of hard to say. Where we're covering the 8 keys to super performance from Mark Minervini's book, Think and Trade Like a Champion. And make sure to share it with somebody. There may be somebody out there who says, you know what, I've got to diversify. And then you could be like, hey, you know, you don't have to. Check out this video of this guy named Chris. He's been reading this book and it's pretty good, right? So anyway, make sure you like, subscribe, and enable notifications. That way you never miss any of the tools, tips, and tricks we upload every single week to help you trade faster and trade smarter. And I'll see you in the next episode. Okay, so what'd you think? That was pretty incredible, right? Now, if you liked that, that's only a taste, only a sample of what you're going to find in the full AI stock trading system. And I really highly encourage you to go and check this out. Obviously, you are interested in learning on how to trade, and that's why you're listening to this podcast. Now, I'm going to take and download my entire trading system that I use day in and day out onto you. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is over at the AIStockTradingSystem.com. You're going to get phase 1, 2, and 3, several bonuses, and on top of that, I'm going to walk you through over a dozen trades that I put on inside of my account, holding your hand and showing you exactly how I got in, how I got out, how I use the artificial intelligence data, and how this could work inside of your own trading portfolio on a daily basis. So make sure you head on over to AIStockTradingSystem.com. That's AIStockTradingSystem.com to learn more and to get started and to download my decade plus worth of trading experience into your hands so you can start using the AI stock trading system today, the 5-step system to take the guesswork out of trading. Hey, if you like this video, let me know by leaving me a like below, and then subscribe and share it with somebody you think could use it as well. Be sure to comment below with your biggest takeaway from this episode and any suggestions you have for future episodes. And finally, make sure you watch these other videos to help you trade faster and trade smarter, and I'll see you on the next episode.